In this video, we're going to give you a feature overview of the Juki HZL-HT740. The 740 is the top of the line in the lighter weight Juki computerized sewing machine. This is a brand new model on the market, and Juki's done several things to make this a great machine that you may want to have in your sewing room. The first thing, if you're needing a good machine for a backup classroom or just starting, the 740 is going to weigh 13 pounds. That's a lot lighter than your average Juki machine. But Juki does not skimp on the motor. It's got the good quality motor. It's going to be able to handle your heavier sewing. They've lightened in the internal metal cast on this machine to make it lighter in weight. The 740 is going to have the carrying handle, so it's very portable. I will have the ability here to have the horizontal spool pin, as well as I have a place for a vertical spool pin to go. The threading is super easy on the 740. Everything on the machine is numbered for me, and there's a channel that takes the thread, puts it in the tension for me as I'm threading, gets it all the way down to my needle, and I have a built-in needle threader on the 740 to thread that needle. This machine will have the top drop-in bobbin. I can see my bobbin at any given time. I know how much thread is on it. It's very easy to thread the bobbin. There's one slit it goes into, and I'm able just to channel as well on it, and there's a little razor that trims that for me. The 740 will give me the easy adjusting tension. Now, you're not going to have to adjust the tension that often. The Juki tensions are known for not being finicky. You pretty much 99% of the time, you're never going to have to adjust that. And we'll demonstrate in a minute going from extreme heavy to lightweight that you're not going to have to do that. The machine will have the adjustable pressure on it here. This regulates the amount of force being pressed down onto my presser foot. So if I'm working with lighter weight material, if I'm worried about that material getting pushed down into my needle plate, I can back that off. There's a gauge right here that shows me the pressure. If I'm working with a heavier piece of material, I may need to make it just a little bit stronger pressing down on to that. Now the 740 will have the extra high lift on the presser foot for getting those heavier materials, thicker materials under it. I've got 7-point feed dog system on this machine. There's 7 places the feed dogs are touching my fabric. For lighter weight materials, this is great because what this is going to do for me, it keeps my fabric flat as the needles penetrating the garment. Generally, the lighter weight material, you will have or could have more puckering. But the 740 is going to take that away. We're not going to have to worry about it. It's got the metal needle plate on it with markings for getting seam allowances. I can measure over from my needle. I do have magnetic seam gauges you can get that'll put right here. You can measure over and you'll have a seam guide all the time. We'll carry all the optional accessories for this machine, and we know what accessories go with it. And that's another thing you can count on us for if you have questions about what will work with it. If you have questions on what presser foot you need for doing a certain project, we can help you with that. So we're just a phone call away or an email away. Now the 740 will have easy access to all my stitches. On the machine, it will come with a placard here that has all my stitches. There's 116 total sewing and utility stitches on this machine. You'll have utility stitches, garment construction stitches, decorative stitches, heirloom stitches. It does have the fonts, 2 different fonts for your alphabets for garment tags, or if you just want to put an initial on something, a quilt label, you're able to do that right on the screen. It's got the real easy bright color screen on it. We can push here our button, and everything is going to be numbered, and I can see what stitch I'm on any given time. The machine will recommend a presser foot for the stitch that I'm doing. All my controls are right here in front of me, so I can easily access what I need to change. I know where I'm going to be at, and don't have to worry about anything else. It's all built in. My width is here. I can adjust the stitch length here, and these are my different modes from going back and forth. From my placard, I'll know exactly which mode I need to be in for a certain stitch. Now, this machine will have the ability to override the speed of the machine. The 740 does come with a foot control, but you also have the start-stop button. Here, red is stop. If I push this button, nothing's going to happen. I can push any button. If it's red, nothing will happen. That is a safety feature. So I have to lower my presser foot down, and once I lower that down, it's going to turn to green. Now I'm ready to sew. When I don't want to sew, leave it up. Make sure it's red. The machine will have the needle up, needle down feature. Now there's times I want the needle to stop in the garment. If I'm turning a corner, if I'm appliquing something on a quilt top, I want to make sure that needle's in the garment as I'm turning. It's going to make the appearance on top look so much better. I will have auto lock on this machine as well. Auto lock is a great feature to have on any machine because you're probably not going to use reverse again once you have auto lock. Auto lock ties a stitch off for me underneath the garment, so it's hidden out of the way. I won't see that ugly back tack. I'll see nothing but pretty stitches on top. This is probably one of the #1 features that they could have added to this machine, and it's on the 740 is a built-in scissor. You don't see this on Juki machines in this price range. This scissor will snip the bobbin and the top thread for me. I don't have to get my scissors out of my sewing notion drawer. It's right there in front of me any given time. I do have a traditional reverse built in on the 740. Now, the 740 does have the removable accessory tray. I can take that off. If I want to hem a pant leg, shirt sleeve, I'm able to do that. On the back side of the machine, there is a little lever I can drop my feed dogs. So if I need to put on a button, darn a hole, or if I'm doing free motion quilting, I'm able to do that really easy. Get a free motion foot, put on the machine, drop those feed dogs, and I can free motion. I have plenty of room here to work with on the 740. Now, just because this machine is lightweight, Juki does not skimp on the quality working components. It has very good quality working components in it. Here I'm going to show you and demonstrate on 8 layers of denim. Now, this is pretty much the side seam on a pair of denim blue jeans. It's probably about the heaviest most people actually do so. So as I'll raise my presser foot, lower it down, it beeped at me, I'll raise that presser foot up. You'll notice I have extra high lift under the presser foot so I can get those thicker materials underneath my presser foot. I'm going to lower that down. I'm going to back my stitch down just a little bit. We'll go into our utility mode here. Make sure that we're on the straight stitch, which I am now, and we're going to start sewing. Here I'm sewing through 8 layers of denim, and I'm going to go from that, and notice on the top drop-in bobbin, it'll crawl down onto my material. That's the beauty part of having a machine that has the top drop-in bobbin system on it. It can crawl down. I can crawl up over those side seams with no trouble whatsoever. Here I'm sewing through just a traditional standard cotton. Now I'm going to put this knit. This is very stretchy type material. We'll sew a little faster. Don't turn it wide open. Now when I get to the end of this seam, I'm going to hit the auto lock button. Now the auto lock is going to tie 2 stitches underneath. It's tying everything in underneath for me. I'm going to hit my scissor, snips that bobbin and top thread for me. I don't have to get no scissor out of my sewing notions drawer. Here I have sewn 8 layers of denim to a cotton, to this stretchy knit, no puckering whatsoever. I don't have to change the tension. The machine has everything covered for me. On the stitch placard, everything is laid out by modes, and on my machine, it will have the same pictures you see right here. I have the straight stitch. I can move my needle over left or right of center. So if I'm wanting to put in cording, piping, or a zipper, I'm able to do that. I have the straight stitch. It sews 2 stitches forward and 1 in reverse. I have zigzags. I'll have overcast stitches. This machine comes with several 1-step buttonholes, and there's a 1-step buttonhole presser foot that comes with it. It'll size the button every time to the button you're working with. I have all the most popular styles and sizes that you can do built into the machine. I will have overcast stitches. I'll have the blanket stitches. I have the old-timey feather stitch or briar stitch. There's heirloom sewing on this machine. A lot of decorative satin stitches on this particular machine, and we'll have a lot of more decorative stitches we can embellish garments with. Applique stitches built in here. I do have the fonts built in for doing my quilt labels, standard block, and the real pretty script font is built in on this machine. Ken Sewing Center is your authorized Juki dealer. We carry everything that's made for the 740. With every machine you buy from us, you're going to get our premium support package. I have 4 full-time technicians working 6 days a week to help you. We have other sales staff that's there to help you by email 7 days a week. You can email us, and we pretty much every day are checking emails. You can always call us for faster service on our toll-free line, and there'll be somebody that'll help you. Or if you leave a message, we'll get right back to you. We're an authorized dealer for Juki. We can help you with anything you have need of. So drop us an email or give us a call anytime. Check the website out where we'll have more images and more information about the 740.